Hey, welcome to Full 42. We're talking about the what are we talking about today? Oh, most recent. Yeah. It's Labor Day. We're not on time. What are we talking about? The most recent gateway games. I think we said in the last 5 years, right?
I think we said within 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So not some of these you'll know, some of these maybe you haven't played yet. Who knows? But yeah, we already got some people. Hey,
Howdy.
Are people still doing first, Donnie? I guess so. He's first.
Yeah, people definitely do. If you're first, you do first. That's how it works.
Die.
Howdy.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about some games. I'm sure we're going to be stepping on each other's toes a little bit.
Maybe one. I think one.
I would think at least two.
No.
Actually, one I pushed back out of the 5 because I thought you'd cover it.
Oh, okay, maybe.
So I've got a few more after. I made a pretty easy list of about 11 games.
Wow.
And one or two of them people might argue is like, what would you call right after Gateway? Hallway games?
No, Gateway Plus.
Gate adjacent, Gateway Plus. All right. Some people might argue some of these are Gateway Plus, one or two of mine. And I kind of push them off the list because of that, right? So
interesting. Well, I wonder where that line is because what constitutes the plus of a gateway game? Like,
I was asking Aaron that actually, and like, what do you consider a gateway game? And so there are some games that you play that are like, by the time you finish it, you've done horribly, but now you get it. Okay. I think that's plus. Games where you get it like maybe a few turns in or halfway through, and then you have a chance of possibly winning. Maybe that's gateway.
Interesting. I have a completely different thing.
Yeah, I mean, it also goes down to simplicity of design, right? Or simplicity is not the correct term. Maybe elegant or what's the word that's just like a few things but very well done. Kind of.
I think simple still works. It doesn't need to be Uno to be simple. Although Uno is got more than one rule. It can still be simple but still be not like childish or too easy. Like simple is just a number. Like if there's a few amount of rules, it could be simple.
But four-year games, that's funny.
Four-year, yeah, not in the gateway. I like that.
Nice.
I can't wait to be in Syracuse in 2 weeks either.
Oh yeah, the whole like thing. Oh, I haven't done the like thing. Yeah, here we go. Boom, yeah. Big like. Oh wait, sorry, one. It's that one, right? Hit the here. I'll do it for both of us. It's all over the place. Boom, boom, boom. There we go.
Let's go.
It's all over. Hit the little things and the bells and the whistles and the trains or whatever is down there. Yeah, I got graphics. I don't know if you noticed, but like I changed the background right below us just a little bit to where those are like lightened a little bit. Also, our logo is at a little bit of tweak, like a tiny little tweak. It's hard to tell because it's so small in the corner there, but they're kind of like shiny now instead of the little circles that had the texture. I'll show you next time we have like a big thing or something.
Yeah, that's good to know. I like showing up and there's a facelift I didn't know about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if you look at this one, boom, right? You see the circles and the 4 and the 2?
The circles in the 4 and the 2. Oh, yeah. I see that.
So now if you look down at the bottom, now it's kind of like shiny waves or something like that.
Like it's a little different thing in the corner that you can't see?
Yeah, the little tiny things in the corner.
Yeah, you can't see.
Well, I'll make a big one at some point and show everybody. I'll do that for show and tell next.
Show and tell. Yeah, that works.
Show off that graphic design. Yeah. Always got to be improving just a little bit.
He is good at it. That is for sure.
Yes, I actually I don't think I've added it to the. Am I using it for the? I am. If you look at our thumbnails, it's on there.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So, but what was that?
Di's comment about New York and Michigan being far apart, but then remembering Alan's coming from Costa Rica.
Yeah, I know. I don't have the. It's Alan's fault that I don't have the excuse being in Texas.
Nope.
Yeah, he took my
Alan breaks
excuse
it.
and stomped all over it.
And this will be his second time.
Yeah, it's rough. It's hard to show my face, honestly.
I know it really is.
It makes it worse and worse every year to where I'll probably never come just because of my shame.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if it gets to that point.
No excuse, right?
Yeah, there you go. I just wrote on my finger.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
You only won 2 games all weekend? Oh my Lord. So Eric was at Grand Con, which for those of you who know, Brian Lenz, it's his 10th anniversary of Grand Con. That was this weekend. I'm sure that was fantastic. I can't believe you only won. I can believe it.
I mean, I can beat that because my first year of the Gathering of Friends, 5 days of gaming, straight gaming, I only won 2 games and they were prototypes. So they were asterisks.
Yeah,
right?
they don't even count.
I mean, we played some like really quick games, really whole tons of games. I had never won one of them. So I will. I got some new tattoo inks, and I'm gonna start practicing with coloring now on fake skin. Sooner or later, let me ask everybody. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to do one on myself because that's what you do whenever you're gonna go to people. You do one on yourself first, probably like left thigh or something like that. Make it easier, or my calf. So what should I put on there? It's got to be something fairly simple. You saw the last time it was like as long as it's kind of like that simple or better.
It should be the full 42 logo on your butt.
Oh my! I'm gonna have a hard time getting back there.
That's what it should be. Like the full Monty
Batman logo.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
No regrets. I'm not doing text. I don't like. I don't mind text like on other people. I don't want text on me. It's not my thing. I like art, graphics.
Go figure.
Yeah. Anyway, any ideas for what that should be?
We'll put up a poll, and whatever one wins, you get.
That's scary. Well, as long as I control what goes on the poll, right?
Sure, I guess, yeah. I mean, we could do that for when you get to Syracuse and you do a tattoo. I'll take a tattoo from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be like somewhere where you can't see while I'm doing it, so that it'll be a total surprise.
A total surprise, and I'll hate you forever. Hold on, I think. Hey.
Yeah, eventually I do want to get to where I can do tattoos and stuff. Just for fun, not for.
Come here.
Not for a profession or anything, but
come here.
We also have. You can always do a meeple or a D6 with pips. I read that as D6 with lips at first. I was like, where are we going with that?
Come here. You're in here now. Come say hi.
Special guest refuses to come on.
He's under the table currently. Hey, can you come say hi to Chris? No.
Oh.
No?
Do like and subscribe.
Come here. No. Come here. You gotta say hi or you gotta go out.
We do have announcements.
When he turns and falls and you're looking at the ceiling, it's because he hit the wire.
Hit the wire.
Don't do that. Come here. Look at Chris. Come say hi.
I put the announcements banner on, and you don't have it. Do you have any announcements?
Oh,
that's a good idea. Old sketches. I had tons of old sketchbooks, but I don't like any of my sketches that I end up doing. That's my problem.
You want to go back outside? Yeah. Then come here. Hold on. Here. Okay, good.
You can always do that one.
Not really. I mean, QsCon obviously is 2 weeks from this coming Thursday. The campaign, the Kickstarter campaign for Canvas Critters goes this fall, and the follow page is up. So I know
Oh, I should have gotten that link from you and put it on the thing.
that would have made sense. Yeah.
If you're watching this later, I'll have it on the.
I'll make sure I get it to you.
Yep.
I know a lot of you watching already have already done it, but
well, we should play that soon. We should play it like next game or next show or something.
Yeah, you just need a bunch of meeples.
I mean, don't you already have it?
I do.
Oh, that's right. I can't direct you how to do it.
No. I mean, you could, but that would be really weird. However, I could technically mail you a set that you could play with.
I like.
But we'd have to have the cameras. That would be weird.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
You should just come to Syracuse in 2 weeks and we can play it live. That's...
Yeah. Anyway, I can't make that trip. I'd like to.
Oh, Diane. So Di has an image for a tattoo she wants. I know. It was the drawing, the Monstrosity thing we did at the gathering. Remember that creepy fucking monster?
Oh, right. Yeah.
She said she wanted to get that one.
That's funny. Well, be careful what you ask for. At some point, I'll pop up with a tattoo gun. So
that is the stuff of nightmares.
The monster or me with a tattoo gun? Yes.
No, it's not on TTS. I guess
it'd be too hard. I think it'd be too hard to do one.
Well, you're not stacking. So the reason we couldn't put charcuterie up is once you start stacking all those things, it got very spongy and would just kind of explode. Right. This one, you're not necessarily stacking. You could. You just got to put the meeple shapes in there, but each shape is different. It might be a little bit of a lift, but it wouldn't be too much.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. We're getting calls now, man.
There you go. I could get a line going. Kind of like at a gathering where everybody started throwing their badges at me.
You should do it.
All right. So announcements other than KoosCon and
still KoosCon.
Right. And Kickstarter coming up. Next week, are we doing our 96 next week? Or do we know it yet?
We could do 96, yeah.
Best movies in 96?
Either that or we have Daryl back to finish up Essen, but I think I'll talk to him because I think the Essen list might be too much of a chore to jump back into at this point. But we'll see. KoosCon tattoo. Yeah, just spell it like that. You have to spell it like that. There is something. It's going to be a teaser announcement. I guess there is something that Daryl and I and a couple other people are working on.
Nice.
That I will hopefully be able to announce on here first, but I can't say too much about it yet.
All right.
I've already said too much. No, it'll be fun though.
Cool.
Yeah, that's I don't have much right now. My focus is on KoosCon and doing more of the rule books and dev tightening up some of the games that your game and Andrew's game and Canvas Critters and Julio's game for next year. And there's a bunch of stuff going on our side for the game side of things for 3WS. But other than that,
I have a fun little announcement. Hold on, let me present this real quick.
Well, I can't believe
it's just something that we've been watching, and it's pretty exciting that Andromeda's Edge is number 5 on the hotness list.
Oh, sick. Very cool.
Yeah.
Why is Terra Nova on 1?
I don't know what's going on with Terra Nova. I barely I looked at that once. I don't remember what it is now. Is that
it's like the Terra
Mystica thing?
Yeah, it's like Terra Mystica Light.
I don't know. I don't actually know what moves people up there. If Aldi's watching, he can maybe he'll never
usually, unfortunately, sometimes somebody does something stupid. And that's why people start talking about it. Sorry, that was me.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know what Lords of Heaven
came out in 2022.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh. Okay.
There it is.
Oh, you got text of the drawing?
Oh, my God. If you would do this. This is simple.
Yeah, show it.
This is simple. You could do this.
Show your phone. You can show it, right?
Yeah, somebody sent this to me.
Yeah, if you've ever played Monstrosity, you'll know what's about to
Yep.
be shown. It's like crazy. Yes. That's great. That should be all over the back from shoulder to shoulder. That's what that should be.
Yeah,
No.
like Hawk's tattoo in Cobra Kai. That's just across the back and the feathers. Yeah. That should do it.
Yeah.
That should do it. That is hysterical. My God. Oh my God. All right.
Huh. That's good.
What is this demure bullshit now? Now you're staying in the chat. Why is demure all of a sudden a fucking thing?
What? What's wrong with demure?
I don't know. I just saw it all weekend somewhere on something. Like it's a thing. What is it? Where is it coming from? Why is it there? Why are you both saying that?
That's a word? I don't know.
I know it's a word, but what?
Is it something that's... Oh, it's TikTok.
All right.
Yeah, that's not my...
I'm
oh,
done.
God. I don't know what that is either.
Jeez, what are you going clueless now?
You see the gray in here, right?
90s?
I don't know what's going on here.
We all know Clueless. Come on.
I never seen the movie Clueless. We just talked about the best movies in 1995, and Clueless was in 1995, but I didn't have it on my list because I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's okay. Eric, it's not nice.
Yeah.
I'll just look it up. I haven't had a reason to, and now that you're saying it in the
If you have to look it up, you're too old.
that's fine. I don't care.
You don't need to know.
Shit doesn't bother me.
All right. Well, before we go down the I'm too old track and stuff, why don't we look at a painting by your 2.5-year-old? Is he 2.5 already?
He's going to be 3 in November.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I got a couple things I can show because now part of show and tell.
Nice.
I have the Luca painting. But before I get to the Luca painting, they did some other painting this weekend. So
we should explain in case it's the first time you're watching.
Yep. So my almost 3-year-old does watercolor paintings on canvas. He's been doing it for 2 Decembers now. And this weekend, my almost 3-year-old and my 1.5-year-old painted with actual paint, not watercolor, on paper. My cousin Brittany stopped by and babysat them.
He was 30.5 years old?
Around there. For a little while, and did some stuff for them. This was one of them. I think really...
Tell us in the comments what you see.
No, this is obvious.
Oh, okay. This one's obvious. Okay.
No, there's no what you'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see handprints. Yeah, you're right.
Isn't that cute?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So the moon.
And then there was this one, which I thought was also cute.
Oh, that's cute. I've never seen hands done with the bee before.
Yeah. It was neat. But the one that I thought was really cool was, Mr. Luca likes dinosaurs quite a bit. So she took, I guess his dinosaurs, he took his dinosaurs and he put them in paint and then stomped them on a piece of paper.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so there were footprints.
Oh, I actually like that.
Dino foot. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know what.
Turn it vertical. Kind of like it that way, because it looks like they're walking up the wall or something.
What about this way?
Nope, that way it sucks.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they were cute. They were cool.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
All right.
So what we normally do is show one of Luca's paintings, and we look at it like as a Rorschach and try to say what we see it.
Right. So this one's a little bit of a throwback because I have it with me. We did a video call with my mom and sister, with the 2 kids, and they painted on the call. Luca painted on the call, and this is one that he painted for his Aunt Lauren back in July.
All right.
It's a little dark.
Hopefully it's not like all dark. Okay. It's not all dark and evil like the last one you showed us.
Nope.
That was pretty cool. Looks like a angry looking pink man with a guitar.
An angry looking pink man?
Like the big pink circle is the face, the yellow eyes, nose, mouth, but then he's got like a little guitar. He's like,
Okay. Interesting.
koi pond. Ooh, I
I
like koi.
like the koi pond. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Look at you and Dave both saying koi pond.
Yep. Cross section of an apple with a worm coming out. Okay, I can see the
Oh,
worm.
interesting. Ha, nice.
Rolling Stone. Yeah, Rolling Stone tongue. That's funny.
That's a good one too.
Fish pond as well.
Yeah. The koi pond. I didn't see a koi until you said
It's
it.
a nice, peaceful one. I think we had like the death of space and reality, the last one.
It was bad. Yeah. Yep.
With space whales. Yeah.
You definitely got negative. Uh-huh. Sure. You're sitting right next to each other. Dave just wanted to say something. Yeah, the koi pond is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, what do you see?
I saw none of that. I saw Ronald McDonald.
Yeah,
just
I
a
can see that.
switched up face up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we both saw the face with the little.
Yeah,
guitar.
sure. My sister said it was when she saw it, she's like, "Oh, look, he made a heart." Like, yep.
You got more koi pond.
Yeah, the koi pond's a good one. That's a good answer.
Yeah, it's a good one. It kind of makes me want a Starburst. Remember Starburst candies?
Yeah, I still eat them. They're good. They have the minis now. They're really weird.
I see your ear on the right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was from July.
Nice. Bob the Tomato playing guitar. Ah.
I'm gonna write on the back of this one.
We're gonna start a new section, show and tell, where we just show new crap that we get for fun.
Oh yeah, that's when I was supposed to do the paintings, but I didn't.
No. I think it's a separate thing. We'll do a separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to show some new games I got and ask if anybody's played them yet. So I just got. I'll put this here. I just got the new Rolling Realms. Look at the flame
Nice.
in there. So I got that a couple weeks or a couple days ago, or last week, I think. But it's also got, it's hard to point like this backwards.
Yeah.
Meadow, and I have not played any of the others, I don't think. Oh no, I played
You're
this
not
one.
pointing at any of the others.
Yeah, I played that one. That's the Guilds of Merchant Explorers, right? Oh, and I played that one, Wonderland.
Yep.
Is that poker?
Yeah, it's nice that there are other games now.
I still haven't played Titleist. So yeah, this is like the third version of his game that's come out, where you play roll and rights into other game worlds, which is kind of fun.
Right.
That one was sweet. I don't know if anybody's played that one yet. I only played it once during 2020, whenever he was test playing it on Facebook. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was fun. He would just hold like we're talking about Jamie Stegmaier. He would just hold like online things where you could just play him, join, play.
That's cool.
He would put out a page that you could print off on your own printer and play. It's fun. I got the Undergrove. Speaking of that,
Elizabeth Hargrove.
Yep, yeah, covering up the AEG.
Great.
I haven't played this yet, but it looks excellent. So we'll see how that is. If anybody's played this, let me know what you thought. Feels like a brick.
There's a big one. She's from down this area. There's a local game shop that she goes to.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but pops in and does like signings and stuff. I don't know if I've ever said this on the show, but every one of these that goes on the show, I put on the bottom when it was on the show and what number it was. So if you go to that show that aired on September 2nd, which is today, this is the 81st one that we've shown.
And this is the 178th episode too.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, just some fun.
And I just got this one in. Oh, big.
Oh wow.
Has anybody played that one?
Nope.
I think everybody's just started. I showed a picture that was kind of painful to see.
Oh, this is the one with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to pop it out though, so it's not that bad.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's pretty interesting though because I showed put that down. It's a brick. I showed people the picture of the. It was basically punched in from shipping.
Yeah.
And there were some people who were like, send it back, and other people that basically anybody who was in publishing like, no, don't send it back because you're basically asking for an entire new game, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting to see where people have that line. Like, how damaged can a box become before you ask for another one?
Yeah.
Because even if you're just asking for the box lid, you're basically asking them to destroy a game to.
Well, some companies get extras, right? Like you usually get a little bit of an overage on your stuff, so you have replacement parts, right? And boxes are one of them. But what ends up hurting is you're shipping an empty box, and you're still like it's only the top or the bottom, or you ship the whole thing, but it's an empty box for $20. Like it still hurts.
Yeah. Well, even if you get like when they give you extra parts, they give you like, here's a whole bunch of extra dice. Here's a whole bunch of extra. They don't give you a whole bunch of extra games because those you could sell, right? So every box lid that you have to give to somebody else is an entire game that you had to lose basically for that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes like I know we get extra of all our parts, so we can just ship out the parts in like an envelope or a baggie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could also just not send a lid. That makes sense.
43 rounds for each player. Wow.
Holy crap. Yeah, Eric won't let that one go.
Which one is Wild Garden?
I do not know.
That's good. Good news that it's good to back it. Well.
Yeah, Dave.
So funny.
He's definitely so salty. Dave brings up a good point too. That empty box, there's nothing in it, so it could get crushed easier.
Maybe. I don't know. I remember I was at the post office once and I saw this guy with headphones on doing a little dance in the background, kicking boxes down the hallway. And I was like delivering a box. I was like, I don't want to give this to you now.
Oh, there you go. So, Brittany, I just showed off the paintings that you did with the kids while you were here. That's the Brittany that I was talking about.
Nice. Those are fun. Scroll up the chat. Everybody talking about the bee.
Yeah, they love the bee. If you go back and scroll up, they like the bee one. So good job. To go back to your question of like, where's the line of damage? Like, when do you send it back? I think if the components are damaged, that's where I'll draw the line. If the cards are bent or there's a broken wooden bit in it or something like that is broken inside. Otherwise, the box, like a dented box, or if it's got that the split seam, like it's transporting the game to me. Like that's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
If there's a puncture or it's like completely stepped on, then maybe. But usually my line is if something inside the box is damaged, that's when I'll say something.
Yeah, there's only one time I've asked for the box lid and it was torn to shreds. Like there were holes in it. So
yeah, I don't know. It's different for everybody.
Well, it also matters to me what size the publisher is. If it's a first-time publisher, I'm not going to do that to them. Right? If it's just one or two people kind of like trying to make it work, and I was really supporting a project, I'm not going to do that to them. If it's AEG, yeah. Sorry, but I'm not going to hurt you with my one request. But only again if it's like a big, if it's CMON. Well, if it's CMON, I paid a lot of money for that. That better be coming in nice and Although they package them really well.
If my Marvel, the Multiverse United, whatever the fuck it's called, If that came and it had a crushed corner, like I don't think, not depending on the crushedness of it, I don't think I would cause a problem. But if I opened it up and like Spider-Man's head was off or like the bases were off the minis, then maybe I'd say something.
Sure.
But then I wouldn't need a whole thing. I would just ask for the mini because I know that they got extra pieces. Like,
yeah, replacing minis and stuff like that really isn't that big of a deal.
No.
You know, because you do get extra parts of those.
You do. They usually give you what, 5 to 10% in overage.
Hopefully,
for that reason.
Yeah. Depends on the printer that you're working with, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, those are some recent games. I haven't learned any of them, so maybe if I get a chance to play them, I will report back.
Cool. Yeah, I'm curious about Undergrove.
Not Rise and Fall.
I don't know anything about that one.
I honestly have forgotten.
Undergrove is on my radar to pick up. The Rise and Fall, I know nothing of, so I'd have to look at it first anyway.
Kickstarters take so long to deliver, and not like too long, just like all Kickstarters take so long to deliver. But by the time they show up at my door, I'm like, what is this? Did I back this? Most of the time.
That's the best. Past me is surprising future me. That I love it.
Yeah, because I'm one of those backers that you should all love where I look at the updates title to see if I need to do anything. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
If it says something about like, the update is about where it is or something like that, I'll look and go, oh, still making it? Cool. I just
couldn't care less.
Yeah. I mean, I care because I want my game eventually, but I don't.
No. Sometimes during the campaign, I want to know what's going on, but when the campaign ends, the only thing I need to know is when the pledge manager is open.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't need to know when it ships. I don't need the U.S. fulfillment speak. I don't care. It'll show up and I'm good.
But I do like hearing that U.S. fulfillment's done that.
Yeah. Yeah. You can forget about them though, which is also not.
Matt?
Hey, Matty P. Good to see you, buddy.
We're probably going to show a couple games you worked on, I bet. Matt worked on all the games.
Guaranteed.
We'll see. No, actually. I'd be surprised if he worked on these, but we'll see. Maybe he has.
I'm really curious how many we're going to step on. I think this is the only one we're going to step on.
I have two that I think we will step on each other's toes about. But like I said, I moved one of them off the list because I'm pretty sure you're going to do it. So
right.
And we'll have some honorable mentions at the end of it. You want to get to the list?
Let's do it.
I gotta.
Yeah, there's this little game called Andromeda's Edge.
Yes.
Yes. Which I do have to say, Peter, I don't know if Peter's watching. Sometimes Peter hops in and he doesn't. And I'm not saying this if he is watching, just in general. Last year, Peter had sent me some deluxe editions of Flamecraft for QSCon, and he sent the dragons for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the picture of them hugging the dragons. They love the dragons. So I reached out to Peter again because I noticed that Cardboard Alchemy was not like Lucky Duck had sent some stuff for Play to Win, QSCon, but nothing Cardboard Alchemy related. So I reached out to Peter specifically and I said, hey, like they didn't send anything of yours. Do you have anything? Give me something. Give me something to help promote a banner, some flyers. Give me something. And he's sending the 2 other dragons. It's a great gateway game. Really not that complicated.
Maybe. That's true, but it's a lot of rules, yeah.
The 2 other dragons, the new ones?
Yeah.
Or the newer ones? I don't know.
Which one? Is that the purple and blue one?
Yeah, those 2.
Yeah. I've got them right there, yeah.
He's sending them.
That's cool.
And he's sending a deluxe all-in Andromeda's Edge.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even have a deluxe all-in Andromeda's Edge yet.
Yeah. I mean, mine will be shipping, I'm sure, my pledge, but he's sending it for a prize for the con. So, and it's going to be the only, I guess I could have done this under announcements too, but I just remembered it when you were saying Andromeda's Edge. The con's going to be the first one to give it, to have it to give away.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous.
There you go.
Yeah. It's like $190, $200 pledge or something that we'll have at the con for something. So thank you, Peter. As always, you're just a stellar human.
I obviously I worked on it, so salt and all that stuff. But it's definitely in my top 10 games. I
It's a
cannot wait for
good
this
one.
game to get here.
It's a good one. I remember playing it at PAX Unplugged when he had his little wooden bullshit things that he was like, this is what it's going to look like, kind of like really, really early in the thing. And then obviously we played it on the show. But yeah, I didn't go through Chris for this at all. Like I know Chris's Cardboard Alchemy as well, but I went straight to Peter and I just wanted to see if he wanted anything to just be promoted at QSCon, and he's sending that gigantic thing, which is unbelievable. So
That's cool.
yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah.
I
will share pictures.
Yeah, but Andromeda's Edge is not a gateway game. Although, well, let's talk about gateway games, right? Because that's what we're supposed to be doing. We haven't done that yet. Hey, Steve.
A little bit. We did talk a little bit, and you said that you had your parameters of what makes it a gateway.
Drug bust. That's funny. Yeah. So gateway. Yeah, I kind of explained a little bit what gateway is to me. A kind of game where you can kind of pick up on it after a couple turns, and then possibly still even win. Who knows? But the thing is, and the reason why I like that is because that differs by the person.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like my wife, her gateway game, the game that made her like she played a few games and was like, yeah, that's fine, and just not into gaming until she played Power Grid, and that is what she says was her gateway game that made her go, ooh, I like this. So it takes all kinds of different people, you know, and what is it that hooks people, right? What gets them into the gaming thing? So.
But I think that's where my line is in this. Like, there are those things that are considered gateway games, and some gateway games are the level of intellect needed to play the game, or the amount of rules that are in the game, and how quickly can it be set up and played. And there are a lot of things that define what a gateway game is to different people.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the Resistance. I mean, it can be a gateway game, but you need to know how to bluff and lie, which not a lot of people do. I mean, they do. A lot of people do. But intuitively, for game purposes, to know when to like reveal or something like that could be a line where it's like it's not necessarily a gateway. Even like Two Rooms and a Boom, which is super simple, is not. I wouldn't like. You need to know if you're the shy guy or if you're the president. Like you need to know a certain amount of stuff to be able to pull that thing off the right way, or else you're done. Like the game's lost.
You know what else I think speaks to gateway is whenever you have somebody go, I didn't know games were like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for me, like, you know, Uno is not a gateway game because if you showed Uno to someone who's like, yeah, I've seen Uno, but I've never played it, they're not going to go, I didn't know games were like this and then want to get into gaming. Like it's not going to be the entrance into the hobby for them. Right.
Yeah.
Not to be mean to Uno, but it's just like it's not a thing that makes them go a first step into a whole new world, right? Mm-hmm. So it's got to be just a little bit of a challenge to what they're used to.
I'm gonna have Aladdin stuck in my head all night now. You shit.
What?
You said a whole new world, and now I have Aladdin on the magic carpet for the rest of the show now.
That's great. That's great. Anytime I could add to the little DJ in your head.
That's awesome. Great. I mean, I do love that movie, but now I'm going to have a whole new world stuck in my head. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, to go along with Aaron's intro into board gaming, I mean, my gateway was Arkham. Like Arkham Horror 2nd Edition is the game that got me into the hobby. It was my gateway into the hobby and my moment of I didn't know games could be like this. That was Arkham 2nd Edition. So for me, there are a lot of parameters that can be put onto what a gateway game is, right? I think for me, it comes down to the teacher. If you can get a good teacher to teach a game where you understand what you might not understand the nuances of the game first shot, but if you can get that game from front to back and still be invested the whole time, and you have a good teacher that does it, that game could quickly become an intro game for you. It could become a gateway game for you because now you want to play more. You want to find that next game. You want to get that next hit. So it could really come down to the person teaching it being, and this is a negative term in the industry, but you're a gatekeeper, right? They're showing you what to do when you come into this new world. And that could be something as complex as Andromeda's Edge. If you have a really good teacher that's just like, this is what you're going to do on your turn, do it. Like Twilight Imperium is not a complicated game. It's very simple. when you play it. But there's a lot of jockeying for position that makes it this ridiculously timed, epic, whatever. But when it comes down to it, there's only a few things. Like even Stuff of Legend, just 4 things on your turn that you can do, and one of them is pass. Like that's, can you even count that as a thing you can do on your turn? Right? They're not very complicated, but the game itself, if taught properly, could be a gateway for some people.
Yeah, and it's also that makes me think also is some people's gateway is going to be theme.
Yeah.
Like Arkham Horror. If that's your jam and you sit down and you're like, oh my God, this is awesome, and you just fly right into the theme, it doesn't quite matter how many rule sets are there or all that stuff. You know, you're going to be forgiving of, oh, is that what I do? Okay, cool. You're just in it, right? And then some people who don't care that much about theme, more Euro-y, mathy, and stuff like that, if they sit down in one of those games, they're just going to be like, okay, there's a lot of rules here, and I don't care about what the thing. The painting's trying to kill me, but I don't care. But then you set them in front of, you know, Power Grid or something like that, and they're like, oh, I like this system where I'm trying to do this, and I feel like I just won everything. Okay. So, yeah, it just comes down to the person.
Yeah, it does. It does. Theme is a big one. The what the person likes. I mean, they might not know deck builder from worker placement from Yahtzee style, whatever, like area control. That might not be a thing, but they find a game they like and then they want to know more about it. But it does. I think a lot of it hinges on the teach. Like you've on the show, you've talked about 1 or 2 episodes where you had a bad teach and never wanted to play that game again. And if you were new to the industry and that was your like, fuck this, I'm out. Like I'm not doing this. This is atrocious. Like, why would I do this?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that's happened.
Yeah, for sure. Because we all become ambassadors for the hobby, right? For no matter what the topic is, whatever our top 5 topic is, right? The thing is we are all ambassadors for this hobby. So like you come across someone who's just there to play against warm bodies so they feel good about themselves. Like that's a shitty ambassador for the hobby. Like it's just not going to work. But you get that person that's no, let me teach it. Like I'm not going to play. I just want to teach it so you can all have fun and like look at this great thing. Like those are the kind of people that help this hobby grow. That can really get something like Arkham Horror or Blood Rage. I saw someone said Blood Rage was their intro into the hobby or their gateway game. Like that's not a gateway game in any sense, but like, because that's actually opposite of a lot of the things that you learn as a gamer. Like you want your characters to die in that game because you get glory for it. It's like it's the opposite of what you just want to survive. Like I want to be at the end, I want to survive, but you actually have to die in order to win. It's weird, but that is not a gateway game either. But having a great teacher, having a great experience, that's gonna hook you into whatever game you're playing. So any game can be a gateway game.
By the way, Nikki says this will be the tattoo.
No. Nope. Nope. That does not. That's not. No. Nope.
A whole new world.
Yeah, it's still stuck in my head. Don't worry. I mean, if anything, Chris is the genie because look at him.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be the genie. So I'll be Aladdin. That's fine, but he's got to be the genie.
I never had a friend like me.
Or he's a boo.
I am not a boo. If anything, I'm the parrot.
Oh, Iago?
Iago. Yep. Don't you dare close your eyes.
Don't you dare close your eyes. Yep, it's good all night now. All night. That's all in my head. It's all in my head. Yep. That is already
awesome.
Been. Yeah. Yeah. He's Abu. A-B-U. Abu.
Not his boo.
Chris is my Abu. Yeah,
all right, we're way off.
We'll do a sing along. We'll do the bouncing lyrics on the bottom. We could all you could sing. People think we're all weird. It's great. It'll be the best episode ever. What is this? 178? It's the last episode. Enjoy it.
Nope. Forever in your head.
Ruined. Absolutely ruined.
I got to remember to draw that tattoo for next time.
Oh God. All right. So top 5 gateway games in the past 5 years.
All right. Yeah. All right. So we're going to do, let's see. I got to hit that button right there. And then we're going to talk about number 5. Right.
I have 2 caveats that I'll say at the end.
Oh, I'll say one caveat now, which is I didn't do party games.
Neither did I.
Yeah, no, not that a party game can't be a gateway game. I just kind of wanted, like I said, I wanted that. Oh, I didn't know games could be like this moment with these, right? Yeah.
Oh God.
Uh,
Yeah, party games could be a gateway game.
could be. Sure.
No, I have no party games on here either.
All right. You want me to start, or you want to start?
Either. I forget who goes from episode to
I
episode.
don't remember either. All right. I already got mine up, so I'm gonna do it.
All right, do it. That's
And plus, this is gonna stomp on one of yours, so that'd be fun.
perfect.
All right. So let me see. Let's put us over here. Oh, that's weird. It's taking up the whole thing.
Nice.
Should we be over here? Yeah, that's fine. We're over here.
Yeah, I'm sure we're fine with it.
All right. So my number 5 is Life in Rotaria.
Beautiful.
Is that one of yours?
No, I left it off because I knew you'd talk about it.
Look at that number 5 right in the middle of everything.
Perfect. Yeah, it's great placement, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great about that number 5 right there. But well, it works. So yeah, Life in Rotaria. I'll go through some of the pictures that they have on here, although it's not that many.
Which is sad. This game should be lighting up. It had that Target runway for a while.
Yeah.
This game should be out.
Yeah, it's got that's a good picture right there. Because basically you're making a 4x4 grid with those. This is already finished, all 4 players there, but you're making a little 4x4 grid with those tiles that you see on the right there. And every time you see the little gears on that. I don't know if you can see those or not.
No, way too tiny.
Zoom in here. There we go.
Oh,
zoomed in. Nice. Yeah, see those little gears right there. If you put them together, you'll be able to put these buildings that you have choices here, and they have special abilities how they work. It's got like a lot going on for it, but you can teach it in like 60 seconds, I feel, anyway.
sure.
It seems really easy to get into. The best part is that they've got how many, like you can turn these cards over and they're a different type. And then there's 2 more sets of those. So you've got 6 different sets of different kinds of buildings. And then, of course, you can even mix those up later on if you want. And so you have almost like an infinite amount of different kinds of ways of playing every time you play.
West talked to Eric at one of I forget what convention he was at. But Eric and his co-designer, Carl, apologize if it's not Carl. I believe it's Carl. They have their favorite set to play with, and it's a mix of the orange and the purple. So there's 6 straight sets you can play. There's the orange set in one box, in one of those little container things. There's the orange cards, and you flip them over, and they're purple. And there's 3 of those sets. So there's 6 that you can just play all orange or all purple. And then there's a mix that they have that's like 2 orange cards and 3 purple cards from the set, or so like you flip them over. You can mix them up. It's really cool. The game's fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's more coming.
Oh, is there? Expansions?
No.
Is that something you're not supposed to talk about?
I don't know. I don't know what I say.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
so
it was on Target. It had Target's runway for a little while as an exclusive, and it's still there, but it's available. That's all gone, right? That was June, I think, or July it was lifted or something.
I just saw it at my Target today. It was in Target.
Yeah,
today.
It's still at Target, but it's also other places.
Really decent price too. What was it, like 25, 30?
$30?
Like yeah.
Yeah, for $30, it's bonkers.
It's really good.
Yeah, super. Is it Carl? Isn't Carl the
Ken?
Damn it, it's Ken. I even knew it was a K.
And Eric.
They have their own favorite setup of what they like. But the game, if you haven't played the game, grab it. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, cool. All right, what's your number 5?
Okay, I'm gonna go with one. This is the one that I think is on your list.
We'll see.
So I'll stomp on you right away. And I think I'm gonna do mine in order.
What?
Release year.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's going to be 1. That's going to be 2.
For the record, mine is in order from my, my favorite is number 1. My number 5 is, my 5th favorite.
This ends up being 5. All right, so this will be my 5th.
I know, Steven. I know. Whew.
Second.
He kind of psyched us out a little bit there, though.
Yeah, no, mine is going to be in release order, and I'll stick to that. So this one came out in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the one that I think is going to be on your list.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I know what that one is then. Oh, well, there's two of these that you could be doing. So,
Okay. Are you going to guess or no?
no, I don't want to take it from you. Go ahead.
Okay. It's Cascadia.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
it was on my list. It's actually my number one.
Is it your number one?
My number one.
Perfect. And that's the first one that I'll talk about. So yeah, Cascadia, I mean, it was the second game by Flat Out with their partner AEG to get this one out. The first one was Calico. Calico was fine, but super crunchy and can be very mean. Cascadia it's one of those games that you can just teach and play in a minute. If you want to play the base game, you play with the base cards. They're very easy to understand. You want eagles in a certain spot. You want the moose in a line. You want the salmon in a river with adjacent things. You want the bears to be in groupings. You want something to be farther away. The way that the base game scores is super easy to understand. And then on your turn, you're picking a pair that's available to you. There's 4 pairs, and you're picking one of them, unless you want to use one of the pine cones to be able to split up your selection. But basically, you're taking a tile, and from that tile, paired with that tile, is one of those tokens. Wow, early prototype.
Yeah.
One of those tokens with the animal on it. And then your tile has what animals can go on that tile, but you don't have to place the animal on the tile you select. It's just very intro, easy rules, easy to play, can teach it to a bunch of people. And then it has that leveling up ability. Like once you play it a couple times and you get your head around it, cool, we're going to play with the harder stuff. We're going to try and make this more of a puzzle. And it increases itself as you play. It's a brilliant game.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't argue with it because it's my number one, and it's there for all the reasons you said. Easy to teach, easy to grasp. The rules are right in front of you in those 5 cards.
Yep.
The only issue I ever have with it is that the foxes never score as well as anything else, and it's not abundantly clear for that. So anytime I do teach somebody this game, I kind of go like, foxes are, if you kind of like, they're okay scoring side, but don't try to make that your game.
I like the way the fox scores because you can get a lot of them. They come out a lot, and you can get a lot of them to score off each other.
Depending on it, some of them you can't. It depends on the scoring of the fox, but yeah.
True. Hey, Rob.
That's a good question.
Ecos is good. I played it once. I played it at Alan's place when he was still in town. I liked it, but I think there's more to it. I think if you like Cascadia, you would go up to Ecos next.
It's 5 years.
Is what?
Alan is asking how many back are we going in 5 years?
Oh, yeah, everything with it.
Yeah.
Actually, mine go back to 2021. So.
Talking about getting the song stuck in your head.
No, it's still a whole new world. You're trying, Steven, but it's not. It's still a whole new world. Yeah.
No, Ecos is really good. I wouldn't call it a gateway game, though.
It doesn't have much more than Cascadia, though. Like, if you play Cascadia, you'd be able to play Ecos it's pretty simple. It would be easy for you to jump over that one.
But every new card you get is like a new rule set that you're trying to learn along the way. It's a 4-year game if we go with what Eric did.
A 4-year.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. There you go. Perfect.
And it's very well done.
It is.
It is a bit more complex. But yeah, Cascadia, definitely. And knocks it out of the park for this type. I agree with you about Calico being a little bit more mean and a little more controlling as to where you could put stuff, whereas this feels so much freer.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, you have that variability because there's always multiple things open, and then you have the pine cones that let you mitigate bad pulls, right? And you also have the forced redraw. If there's ever 4 of the same animal, or if there's ever 4 of the same animal, it's an automatic do it again. And if there's 3, you get to choose. So you're not forced into something bad, but you can choose not to because you might want that animal.
It's very forgiving.
Yeah, extremely. Yeah, and then the mitigation of the bad pull with the pine cones lets you wash or take the left tile with the right animal because that's exactly what you need to have this thing trigger 10 points for you or whatever it is. So.
All right, we're gonna snake. We're gonna make it official. We always snake. Let's do that.
Oh, yeah, we always snake.
Why don't you tell us your number 4?
Sure, I'll go to number 4. This one also came out in 2021.
Okay, then that's the other one you're gonna stomp on.
Oh, if I pick all of yours, that would be great. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
This is the one I moved out of my list because I thought you'd put it on there.
I don't think this one's on your list. I don't know.
Okay.
If
you told me about this game. Is that the game?
Maybe.
All right, we'll see.
All right. Well, it's in the Seven Wonders world.
Oh, okay. So you're
no,
doing architects?
I am doing architects.
Okay, you stomped on something else.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So that was on your top 5?
It was, yeah. That's my number 2, Dick.
You're welcome.
There's your number 4.
I gotta write this down. This is a good one. I'm 2 for 2 now. That's great.
We played this for the first time for my first time at the gathering. I don't know if it was your first time. Or did I even play you? You know what? I played Donnie and Corey.
Yeah, I didn't play this one at the gathering. I played this one up at Daryl's. So Stefan brought a prototype of it to QSCon a couple of years back when it was still in development. And then I played this for the first time up at Daryl's at the beginning of the year. And the only reason I didn't play it was I heard it was like a family weight Seven Wonders. And I'm like, oh, I don't want Seven Wonders to be ruined. Like Seven Wonders is a good game.
Right.
But then they were all playing it. So I'm like, I had an opportunity to play it with some cool people. So I played it and I really liked, I would play this over Seven Wonders every time.
You know what? I would teach this over teaching Seven Wonders every time. And then I would go between the two back and forth, honestly. But teaching this is so simple and so easy.
That's it. You have your left. So for those that don't know, the way you have to build your wonder. Yeah, there's the giant version.
I haven't seen the giant one. That's fun.
Yeah, that at QSCon. So you have your wonder that you're trying to build, and in order to build your wonder, there are requirements you need in order to flip them over. Every one of those wonders is a tile set. It's compiled of different sets of pieces, and every piece has something else you need to do. So like if you're looking at that pyramid right there, you need 2 of the same thing to flip over, or 2 different things.
2 different things, yeah.
And you got to do it from base up. Unless you have the pillar one, then you can kind of choose. And then you get like a benefit for flipping it over. But on your turn, there's right there, you see that little tray that has a card in it, not the fanned out stuff, but there's a tray there. Also, that thing on the left is your wonder. And like, you can just give that to a person and that's their shit. Like it's really well done. But that tray that has a stack of cards in it they're all face up. They're shuffled in face up. And there's one put in between each player. And then there's one in the center of the table face down. And then on your turn, you either pick a card from the tray on your right, which is in between you and the right player, or the tray on your left, which is between you and the left player, or you pull the top card from the center, which is face down, you don't know. So there's a little bit of, will that come back around to me? Do they really need that one right now? Are they really going to go for the wood? But then when you pick it, it obviously is opening up something else for the next player to draft from. But then you just do that card. If it's giving you points, cool. If it's giving you a resource, cool. And you're done. And then the whole objective is to build your wonder from ground up. And you need certain things to do it. So you need wood, you need stone, you need whatever. And then there's the military track, which Seven Wonders has. And as soon as someone goes military, then everyone starts going military. But it's so super simple. And I felt way better about playing that than I do about Seven Wonders. And Seven Wonders is kind of like known for being a gateway game. Like that's a game that a lot of people play for the first time. Like, oh, board games are cool. I think Architects had way more to offer in a much simpler execution of a game.
Yeah, I agree. And I love both of the games, both versions. I even like the duo one, right?
Yeah.
So the whole universe I'm happy with, but yeah, I tend to grab this one right off the shelf anytime it's like end of the night, or if I do need a gateway, something like that. It's a great one. Yeah, that was my number 2.
That's a good one. That's why it should be your number 2.
That's fine. I got some backups.
You should.
All right. So my new number 4.
That would count.
I'm actually happy to talk about this one.
Good.
So my number 4 is Starship Captains.
As a gateway game,
It's
really?
a gateway game, yeah. The only part that is a little bit fiddly, and it's not fiddly, I would say fiddly for gateway,
Just putting it
is
together?
no, is the part where there's a lot of fun art in it. If you are, this is kind of like the theme approach. If you're a Star Trek fan, you're going to want to, jump into it. So this is the board that you have in front of you, and so you have 3 workers in front of you. You have that red one, the blue one, and the yellow one, right? The robot, and so those are workers you can do stuff with out into space, which is another board off to the side. And you can't use the ones above it, but you can see what's coming to you. And so you can see next round you're going to get that yellow one and that blue one and that red one because you'll get 3 more kind of thing.
Right.
So you see which, and they all do something a little bit different. If there's
red shirts die first, right?
Well, they do tend to do like the more dangerous ones have the red shirts and stuff like that. But they have like trying to find picture of the board other than it is fun art. But I don't know what that giant robot is, but the board. Okay, come on, show me the board. Here's the board. So you have these fun little ships made of cardboard, but you're basically trying to capture these different missions. And it tells you need a red guy and a blue guy and a yellow guy. And you don't need all 3, but if you use all 3, you get all 3 of those bonuses. And then it's worth 7 points, has it here in the corner at the end. It's fairly simple. All you have to do is figure out how to move along the little paths that are here and go to the cards that you want. It's not a lot of like screw you kind of stuff. I don't think it's that complicated of a game as far as like rule sets go. And if you are a Star Trek fan, you're gonna know kind of already what you're doing with this stuff. So
all right, cool.
And that one came out, since you're saying, in 2022.
It's pretty neat. I know I was warned by Corey to put it together because I think this was given by CGE for a play to win, or we were doing something with it. I forget what we were doing. And Corey's like, just make sure you put it together first because it's a chore. I was like, oh, okay.
Is it okay to? It is. They just make the board a little bit smaller. I think you don't use certain planets or something. Yeah, I don't think it changes that much with Game Player, honestly.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean it adjusts basically, and it feels basically the same. So that's my number 4. My number 3. Are we doing number 3? Yeah, we're on number 3 now. My number 3 is Horrified.
Oh wow!
Now I am not a big what do you call it? Cooperative gamer. Like I'm not that big into it, but for whatever reason, Horrified just feels naturally like, oh yeah, let's get these monsters. Like it just feels right. And for what what I'm talking about, like I don't know what the difference is. Like I've played Pandemic and all that other stuff, and it feels almost mathematically like, and those kind of games, and not to knock any of those, but it always feels to me like, okay, we have to do step 1, then step 2, then step 3. Now you have to do this and you have to do this, and then we'll get it done, kind of thing, right? And this one, it always feels like you're having to pivot right off the bat, so you can't do that kind of stuff. So you're all kind of like panicking at the same time, and that's and you're trying to get all these classic monsters. And I haven't played any of the new ones, but I got the newest Cthulhu Yeti one.
Yeah.
That's out.
World, like World of Monsters or something.
Yeah. World-ending monsters, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Horrified. Yeah. See, I'm not a co-op player, but this one I am. This one I'm happy with. And it's a great feeling to get. It's just like everybody's there's almost no arguing to be done. Like I can't say like, oh, you need to go over there and get that stuff and blah blah blah. No, it'd be like, yeah, I'll probably die if I do that. And you're like, yeah, you probably will. Yeah, you're right. Like you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
monsters do all kinds of crazy stuff. So, yeah, and the classic monsters is a big thing for me. I like that kind of stuff. My dad kind of raised me on those old movies and stuff. So,
Is this a nickname we should know about, Nikki? Does Eric have a nickname called the Crib?
There's a lot of painted miniatures and stuff in here.
They're
Just trying to do the thing.
They're on 4 of these things now, right? There's Horrified, North American, the Greek monsters, and the world.
I want the Greek monster one. I want all of them actually, but yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah. I'll play the world one fairly soon. And let you know how that goes.
Yeah, I picked that up at Gen Con. Actually, the Greek one came out last year at Gen Con, and it came with a free beanie.
That is it's interesting losing someone with a horror theme because it's not gore. It's not, it's almost campy horror. Like, monster mash kind of thing. Oh, the Greek is very good. That's cool.
That's good.
All right. So that's my number 3. What's your number 3, sir?
All right, so I got to go down to. So this is weird. This is a weird one.
All right.
Because I'm almost positive the game just came out, but BGG has it classified as a 2022 release. So I'm gonna say that it's a 2022 release, but I thought it just came out.
Oh, I think I know what you're about to say. Then
You have no idea what this one is.
Oh, well, then I don't know what you're going to say.
I'd be impressed if you did, but I doubt it.
Interesting. All right. Yeah.
So it just came out from Van Ryder.
Okay.
Right? It's 21 different mini games in a box called Gateway Island.
I haven't even heard of this.
Right. So Gateway Island is literally supposed to be your gateway into board gaming. And the idea is you can just start playing through, like you open up the box and there's this book and there's 2 things. Do you remember 504 by Friedman Freeze?
Yeah.
You know what a mess that was?
Yeah.
Right. Like it was really brilliant in its execution. Like the way that you can it had the 3 spiral bound book and the 3 different flaps. And all you needed to do was turn one of the flaps over and you have a totally different game. But each one would go like, it'd be a race, it'd be a deck builder, it'd be worker placement, it'd be whatever. And then you find most of them sucked. But there were 504 different games in that box. It was a huge, I think Luca wants to say goodnight.
Yeah, I honestly have not played any of the games in that box, but I opened it up and kind of used bits and pieces for my own designs. So I don't feel bad about getting it, but I guess I should have tried some of them.
You want to say bye to Chris?
Yeah. Say goodbye to everybody.
Here. Say bye, Chris.
Bye, Liz.
Bye.
Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Daddy,
Okay.
Daddy?
Oh, I'm going to come down after the show, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Night. Okay.
I will say this though, and this might become this might get past it though, because in the 504 thing, I feel like every time you give more than one game in a box, it devalues that game in my head.
Okay.
Not on purpose, like I don't do it on purpose or anything, but when I open up a rule book and it says you play the game as a cooperative or a non-cooperative or this or that, I start thinking, was the one game not good enough? You had to give me several different games. So whenever I saw 504, I was just like, oh, those must be all crap.
There-
5 more crappy games. I've
It's
heard there's a
really
few good ones.
there's some really good ones in there. Like no shit, there were really good ones. And it is a hell of a design component, right? For someone who's trying to get into design or trying to figure out what kind of game they like. Like it really did something special and unique, but it was a chore to find the ones you liked because it was a crapshoot. Like it's just
Right.
you start with 001 and then you go to 002 by flipping a thing. Like okay. So this one's 21 different games and it's got 21 different themes. Like the first one you do is a racing game, and then the next one you do is whatever the next one it is that you do. So there's a checklist of what you're playing, so you can check off like all 21 scenarios, and then it tells you what that was. So if you liked game number 1, you know you like racing games or you like whatever it is. But then they take it one step further and they recommend something else in that book that you would like. So if you're playing the first one and it's a racing game, or you're playing the 10th one and it's a deck builder, when you're done with playing it, at the end of that instruction of like setup, gameplay, how the game ends, they actually have another game in there that you could go and look up and purchase or rent from your library or whatever that would be in that theme. And it's not one of their own games. It's another company's game. So like the racing game, I believe the first one's a racing game, and you play through it, you set it up, you take a couple of the cards, you use these cubes, you do your thing. Then game ends and you're done. What they recommend if you like this game is you go grab Downforce.
All right. Yeah.
I'm like, that's really nice of them. Like really cool to put somebody else. Like if you like this type of game, this is the kind of thing you're going to look for. And then you can kind of literally get them going through the gate, so to speak, into another game that they would enjoy because they enjoyed this thing, which isn't supposed to be like these really hard, difficult kind of things. They're easy rules. They're on, I think, a left page and the majority of a right page, with the bottom being the advert for another game kind of thing, which they didn't get paid to do. They didn't go out to these other companies.
That's really cool.
And say, hey, we want to promote your game. You want to throw us on? They just like, if you like this kind of game, this is the kind of game you'd like. And it's really, and very few components, like all those cards are in the game. There's a bag of cubes. I think there's some dice. Like there's really not much in it. And it's really, really smart. It's compact too. It's easy to, not like pocket size oink kind of thing, but it's a small enough, like smaller than just one in code names. Like it's a smaller box than that. But it's really clever and it's really cool that they do that kind of thing.
That's pretty cool. I would give this a try just to see what they wanted to show you first and then what they're going to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That immediately makes me want to say, okay, what do you think is the gateway to Downforce?
Right.
Which I would think is a gateway plus, right?
Sure. And these are, so another thing that this thing does is if you're trying to design something or you want to design something, this would be a really good jump off point to be like, oh, I really want to do a racing game with deck building, right? Or a worker placement with deck or something. And you can play these games and have that be your base and get an idea from it and move forward. Like, okay, I really like this and I really like this. So what if I use this element with this thing? Like it can be that kind of creative as well. So it's like, I loved 504 as a concept, but this does what I think I wanted 504 to do.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, 504 feels like, look how many games I can make. And Gateway Island feels like, look how we can help you get into the hobby.
Right.
So,
But it is listed as 2022, and I'm almost positive it came out this year. So I don't know if they held
probably
it back final draw or something.
They probably just put it in the BGG at that year, and then that's what happens.
Yeah, maybe
you can update it if they need to. So.
I'm sure, but like it's not. I'm pretty sure it just came out. But look, and it's very. I mean, it's $20. I think $25 maybe. Super chill. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's a good pick.
Thank you. I only.
All right, so you're on your number 2 now.
I am. All right, so this one I played at the Gathering for the first time. Now we're into 2023, so last year.
I have a guess. Okay.
It has really, I mean.
Does it have to do with beaches?
No.
Oh, okay. Then no.
Beaches. No, that's a good one too, though. Yeah.
Oh,
That,
that's this year. Yeah.
that came out this year, though.
Yep.
So this one is worth tracking down the deluxe version of it because the bits are that much better. But the game is called Leaf.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the deluxe version of this. I have not learned it yet.
I don't have any of the versions, and I need to get this one. This one is beautiful.
I believe it won the Origins Award for Gateway or something like that, right?
Oh, cool. That'd be awesome if it did.
I could be wrong. It won an award for that kind of weight game, but yeah.
So on your turn, you're going to pick a leaf, and the leaves are chunky, like they're big leaves. And you're going to place the leaf into the main. Yep, it's got squeeples.
Trying to find a. I
The
wish I
cards
could
are
put
important.
the table
The cards are
layout.
important. You're going to put them, it's a little bit of set collecting, but really not heavy on it at all. There you go. So you're going to pick a leaf from the main board that has a pile of each of those type of leaves in different colors. So not all of that maple leaf is red. They might be other colors. And then what you're going to do is place it into this growing leaf pile, and you'll get resources based on how many of the points of the leaf are touching. And the point that it's touching is the resource you get. So depending on how many of that, when you place that red maple leaf down, if 4 of those are touching, you'll get 4 of the red, and then you'll get whatever it's touching in its resource. It could be a squirrel thing, it could be a card, it could be another resource, could be whatever. But the act, you're on your turn, the act of taking a leaf and putting it into the pile and having it match up to gain resources is super simple. And I think the most challenging thing about this is the card thing. Like when you go to get a card, you're getting this set collection, and you want to get as many as you can to put into the burrow because you get points for that. And then some of them have points on it, extra points or extra resource or something. Like that was it. Like the game is super simple. It's so easy to teach, and it looks stunning on the table.
Nice. That's very cool. Yeah, I only opened it up and looked at all the pieces and the artwork and stuff. I haven't gotten a chance to play it, so
it's great. I mean, the cardboard version of it is fine. Those leaves they're big, chunky cardboard pieces. But if you can get the upgraded version with they're like that wood, the composite wood kind of piece, they're beautiful. Like the tactile nature of it is great. But the design in this one to make sure, like there are some times where you come up just short of getting an extra resource, and it's intentionally done that way with the way the leaves are spread out to make sure you can't. Like that red leaf on the left there is touching. There's 4 of the points of that red leaf touching, and it's touching 2 brown, another red, and that green, and that green, and that brown. Like the placement of those, you feel so smart when you get to put that down and get all of these things because you placed it. You got it to fit the right way. It's just a brilliant game.
very nice.
And yeah, the table presence is super cool.
Yeah, I looked at it whenever I was making my list. I was like, I should have played that before this week because I thought, yeah, that's going to be on there.
It's a good one.
I'm glad you got it.
Growing the mushrooms too, and making them go from, I forget what the terminology is, but from baby mushrooms to adult mushrooms. I forgot what that was, but there's a little bit of play in that. Then there's the cards, and then there's this tree that your squirrel is running up, and you're getting extra bonuses for the squirrel running up the tree. It's smart.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a good one.
All right.
Really?
Well,
It's probably because you played with Dave, and you probably lost. Tend to not like the games you lose, just like Dave doesn't like the games he loses.
if I didn't like the games I lost, I wouldn't like any games. All right. So my number 2, it's really not my number 2 because you took my number 2.
Yeah.
This is like my number 5,
Yeah,
I think. No, this is my number 6.
You want to bed too?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
out. I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The family says bye.
Good night. Night.
Right.
God bless.
All right. Everyone.
So
Jesus.
my number 2 is like I said, is like my number 6 or something because you've taken 2 of mine away.
You're welcome.
But this is the one that I took out that I thought I would let you talk about, but you haven't talked about it yet, so might as well do it. It's the one that you showed me.
No, don't do it. That's my next one.
Good. It's Dice Miner.
Oh no, not that one. Good.
Oh, okay. There's another one. Oh,
Yep.
I don't have that one then because these others. Yeah. But Dice Miner. So Dice Miner came out 2021. Unfortunately, you got the better version of it. You got the cool plastic mountain or whatever. It still plays just great. And it's a game that this is one of those games, just like Cascadia, where sometimes I want to play again right away. Right.
Mhm.
And it's not a super, like, it's not a 5-minute game or anything like that. But it's really easy to teach.
Mhm.
It's simple, roll dice. And yes, I know what dice look like, whoever put up these pictures.
They look like renders. They weren't even pictures of the dice.
I know. Who is doing this? Show me what the game is. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
You
this,
do
there we go. Yeah. Yeah. All it is you got dice. You've got that cardboard mountain if you get the normal one. I don't think you can normally get the plastic one, right? That was like
That was the Kickstarter one. I will say that box though, like the plastic one's okay. It's unpainted, but that box is it's a pain in the ass to bring around. Like this one's a regular size box, which is much easier to transport.
Oh, that's too bad. The reason why I like it is because it feels there's these clever moments where you'd be like, oh, and you get a beer, which lets me take this one from the side and it falls here, and now I get to take this one, and then all that stuff. There's of course a lot of randomness to it because it's got dice, but you roll all the dice, put them on the mountain, and then you can take only from the peaks. So right now, the only thing you could take from here is either a 2 or those mining equipment, pickaxe.
The pickaxe and the shovel. Yep.
Yeah. Now you see there's beer there, and if you happen to get beer, then on your turn you can give a beer to someone else. They get to roll it again, so they might get something good or more beer, which seems to happen to me all the time. And then you get to take 2 things, and you can take from the sides. So, like, you might take that 1 star, or no, you might take the 3 gems up there, the yellow one, right out of the side, and then it falls, and that lets you get the 2 stars because now that's exposed on the side. I like the little cleverness of that.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I think is kind of unfortunate is that these starter players, there's definitely better ones than others. In my mind, anyway.
Sure. Yeah, there are.
Like that Dragon Slayer guy is my favorite, but if I can't get him, then I want the one that has the pickaxe and the 1. I think.
Well, it depends on what. It also really highly depends on what's in the mountain, right? Like your Dragon Slayer is really cool if you get dragons.
If dragons show up, yeah.
Right. If it's not and it's beer, you're not picking the beer because you're giving it to somebody else. You could hurt them. Cool. But you're not picking the rock slides if you don't have the pickaxe, and maybe all rock slides come up. Like even the magic, like you want the one that has the 3 individual magics. But if you have the opportunity to pick magic off the mountain, then you don't need the 3 magics. Or now you don't want to worry about the magic from the mountain because you have the 3 individual magic, but you need more magic. So it's like even the starter ones, the Kickstarter one came with I think 4 extra that are a little bit deeper. But man, you're like, this is it. I want this one. It's going to give me it's going to give me a 2, and it's going to give me the pickaxes, and all I need to draft is a 1, and all that's rolled are 2s. And you're like, this sucks. Like it's super fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if there aren't any dragons on there, on the mountain, at the end of each round, you have to roll those dice and keep them. Mm-hmm. So you might roll dragons then, and you're like, yes, I got dragons. Right.
You might. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
yeah, we
anyway.
played this one on the show recently, and we played the one that Brandon is talking about too, Panda Royale, on the show recently as well. The dice rolling in both of those is great. It can assault you so hard.
Nice. Yeah,
that's
my number 2.
Good pick.
So then I'm going to jump to my number 1, which is my number 7 or whatever. I've lost count now because
however your list works, Chris. Whatever.
Well, you stumped all over it, so
this is why I don't do them in order. See,
that was my number 7. This is my number 6.
God, I got your number 1 and your number 2.
You did.
I should retire. That's amazing.
I was pretty sure you were going to get at least one of those. So, okay. So my number 1 is it's not really my number one. Whatever. One of these is Tiny Towns.
Interesting.
So Tiny Towns is a kind of like a game that I keep forgetting I have. And it's mostly because I order all my games by max player count, right? So if 5 people come over or 4 people come over and we got 5-player game going on, then I can say, oh, we can play anything from here to the left.
Right.
Very easy that way. The thing is that Tiny Towns plays 6 players. And I don't often even look over there for gateway or lighter games because 6 players, for whatever reason, always end up being like these big, long games or very party-like games. Like there's, it's nothing in between. So I don't generally look over there for this kind of weighted game. So I forget I have it all the time. But as I was looking through this list, I was like, yes, this is a great one. Because what you do on it is there are, that's a pretty good shot to start with.
That's cool, Steven.
So there are cards that go out in the middle that tell you there's different kinds. Oh, that is cool. There are different kinds of buildings that you can make. And those are the blocks in that order, that specific order you have to do to make them. And they all give you points in different ways. Kind of like Cascadia has with the different animals, right? And then on your turn, you call out a block of resource color, brick or stone or whatever they are. Mm-hmm. And then everybody has to take that. And they have to put it on their board. Mm-hmm. And you get to put it on your board as well. And then you're going like, you better not call yellow. Do not call yellow. You've called yellow 3 times in a row. I don't need yellow. Someone called yellow. Damn it. You got to figure out what to do with that. I think it's a great game. I have had people in the kind of gateway situation feel like they got kind of pushed around because if everybody's going for like grays and browns and stuff and you need blue and red and you're not getting it, you have to, it's one of those games where you have to kind of like shift and kind of make a call, like a change what you're going to do midway. And so that's why this got pushed off of my top 5 because it might be Gateway Plus.
I love that it got pushed off your top 5, but it ends up being your number 1. It's not like I took your 1 and 2 and you moved your 3 to number 1 and you moved your 4 to
I guess I should have done that, honestly, but yeah. Whatever.
Again, another point for why you don't do your list in order. Like it's just
blah, 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 blah.
Now it makes no sense. Your number 1 has caveats of number 7. Like I pushed it off my list. Unreal. So fun fact, Peter, the designer, lives 2 hours-ish away from Syracuse and is coming to QSCon.
Oh, fun.
And we are doing a Beat the Designer tournament where Peter is going to pick the towns for the game and the participants will try and beat him.
Oh, he gets to pick, though?
He's picking the towns. He's picking the buildings. Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
Yep. So it'll be his favorite or the ones that are most fun or he can do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm. All right. That'd be interesting. What happens if you win? You just get a picture and be like, beat him.
Yeah. Bragging rights for the con.
Nice.
I will let you know what buildings he picks for the game so you can play that next time.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
I'll let you know what he picks.
All right. What is your number 1, sir?
Good pick. I'm surprised. You probably would know this one. You probably know what's coming.
I have 2 more honorable mentions and reasons as to why they're not on there, but we'll talk about that afterwards. Yeah, so it might be one of those.
Well, I have 2 to talk about, and then 1 honorable mention, I guess, if you want to go that route. And then 1 that came up in the chat that I'm absolutely pissed off I forgot about. But I can't. As much as I love that game, this has to be my number 1. It's the game I'm going to play the most this year, like by far. I've already played it the most since the beginning. It came out technically at the end of 2023. West was nice enough to mule me a copy back from Essen, and we played it for the first 7 times using Google Translate holding the phone over the cards and holding it over the rule books. Last couple times we played it with Marcus, who's German, who translated a lot without having to use the phone. But then at UK Games Expo and then at Gen Con, it came out in English, and I have my copy. So I met Kane Klenko at Gen Con, and he remembered how many times I've talked about this game already. And then I got him and Quan Chai, who did the art, to sign it. And that is Nunatak.
You're gonna have to spell that for me.
Nunatah.
I already messed it up. MUN.
Yep. A.
A. Nope.
Nun.
Oh, NUN. Why didn't you say so? There we go.
There you go.
This one. Yeah, you have talked about this one.
I will continue to talk about it. Now, you could argue that it's got a little bit more than a gateway, because there's 7 different types of cards. Some are set collection, some are multipliers. But again, with the teach of this, it is very easy to get to in about a minute to play this game. There's not much. If someone understands like giving the points for the stacking and stuff, the idea of the game is you're going to have a market of 4 cards, and on your turn, you pick one of those 4 cards and then put one of your ice blocks on the matching icon in the temple. That's it. That's what you're doing. And the idea is, and there's set collection that goes along with it. Like you get points if you have one of each type. You get everything else is super intuitive except for the science part of 7 Wonders. You know, and if 7 Wonders can be a gateway, this is a gateway. So the hardest part of this is that teal blue on the right. There's 2 different types in that card. There's the tool and there's the type of tool or something like that. It's not Tangram City. That's it. Like you're taking a card and you're putting an ice block on a matching icon in the temple, and you're building this temple. And then there's a majority rule where if you're the majority in that 2x2, you get points. If you're a secondary, you get a point or maybe 2, depending on who's there. The scoring, once you do it, it's easy. It's super simple. And I love the game. I played this game so much already. I can't not play this game. Like this comes with me almost everywhere.
Huh. It looks like it takes a little bit to set up.
No, that's the end game. You're actually building it.
Oh, you build it. Okay.
Oh, you build
I thought
it.
you were like taking from it.
No, so go back to one that doesn't have the temple completed.
So like that?
There. So on your turn, you're going to pull a card from the market, which is over on the left there. And then you're going to take one of your blocks and put it on the matching icon. So if you take the red one with the fire, then one of your ice blocks has to go on a red fire.
Gotcha.
If you take a yellow, it has to go on a yellow. Then, depending on how it works, so let's say, see how there's the 2 yellow that are diagonal and then the 2 teal blue that are diagonal?
Yep.
Cool. Let's say my block is on 3 of those and your block is on 1. I have majority. I get X amount of points. You have second, you get X amount of points or Y amount of points, right? But then when you're building on top, if your blocks are underneath, you'll also get a point for the blocks that you use to support the blocks above it. So there's a little bit of point scoring in it, but it has nothing more than 7 Wonders has, like especially in the science part of that teal blue thing. But it's just super like take a card, do your thing, and then someone knows how to do the points. Cool. If not, it's still super easy. And then the end game is just you rock through these different things like the science scores based on how many you have. And there's a set collection and it's super intuitive. It's so much fun to play. I've played this game the most other than Heroes of Arcadia, which we play at the bar constantly. This is the game I played the most of.
Very nice.
I love it. I played it with some repeats and I've played it with brand new people. And every time there's the only thing with this one is, and it's not much, and I don't think it would break your kind of rules, but it's 2 to 4 players, and 3 players, you play the game, nothing extra. You just play the game. Give everybody a set of the cubes, and you play. In 2 and 4, there's a little bit of extra things you have to do to make, because you're building this temple that needs to math out, right? So in a 2-player game, there's actually a 3rd player that you're putting blocks, not a dummy player. You're actually controlling where the blocks go. but you can use them to block people or to help support yourself. And then in a 4-player game, because of the way the math works, the last 2 tiles are dealt with a special way with this majority card that's flipped over, which can be a little interesting. So they all work fine, but I would strongly recommend playing this at 3 players because you don't have to do any of the extra stuff, which isn't really extra stuff. It's just extra.
Yeah. Yeah. Some games can't avoid it, but I don't like that.
This game, it's so fun. It really is. And unfortunately, the 3 players is I would recommend it at 3. The 2 and the 4 are fine. I know you hate that kind of thing, but the 2-player has you divvy up the 3rd color, and you have to play them. You have to play them on your turn. So it's not like AI doing it.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to run some kind of AI thing, this happens and this happens, and then okay, now we got to play. If I'm not playing someone else's turn, it's okay. Right. Just like in what is it again?
Teotihuacan?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Just like in that game, if you're playing 2-player, you have basically black dice that you just put out in different spots, and they just take up spots. That's all.
Yeah. No, in that one, what you do is you have your color blocks, and I have my color blocks, and then you take a 3rd color and you divvy them up evenly between us, and then on your turn, you're playing blocks in sets of 3. So it'd be your color, the other color, your color, or your color, the other color. So you have to put them out in order. So you're still playing your turn, but the dummy player or the AI player is just part of your turn. That isn't being scored. There's no points to do whatever.
That's all right. Honestly, that doesn't bug me as much as the 3 different ways to play with 2, 3, or 4-player.
Yeah, I think this would still fit into you'd be okay with.
Probably.
But yeah, I love this game.
I am picky. We know I'm picky.
I know.
Great. Okay, so that's your number 1, and we have some honorable mentions.
Yeah, someone mentioned in the group. I'm actually very pissed off. I thought it was older, and I didn't look it up, but I looked it up while they mentioned it, and I would say that this has to be mentioned. It probably should be on. I might actually kick.
What is it?
I'm just saying. I might kick Leaf off and replace it with Silver and Gold.
Oh, yeah. I am surprised you did not have Silver and Gold. It's 2019, to 5 years exactly.
I know. I thought it was older. I remember playing it. It was at the gathering before COVID, but it was it was a foreign version of the game, so I thought it had been out for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game, I mean, Phil Walker Harding is amazing. And this game, I know a lot of people like Super Mega Lucky Box. This game is the one to do. Like, it's treasure map crossing and combos off your cards, and also very easy to teach people. Like, there's coins. If you cross off a coin, cool, you get a coin. If you cross off an X, cool, you get a free box. And if you cross off a palm tree, you score for that palm tree and however many are in the market. That's it. And then on your turn, you're flipping over 7 of 8 polyominoes, and you're crossing that off on one of your 2 treasure maps. It's phenomenal. I think we played that as much as we played Dice Miner the year Dice Miner came out at the gathering. Like, it was just play it again. Super compact, super easy to teach.
You showed me this game. I thought it was great. However, this is one of those games that I thought about, and I thought, this isn't the kind of game that I think someone would go, I didn't know games could do this.
Sure.
So that's why it didn't quite make my list. Did you get a chance to play the new one at the gathering?
I didn't play the Pyramids one. No.
I kind of like that one a little bit better, but I think I'm minority in that because it has just a little bit more something to think about. I did really badly in it too. I think Corey or Donnie killed me in it.
Nice.
But yeah.
I love this one. It's such a good one. Yeah, Super Mega Lucky Box is they get compared constantly, and I never like Super Mega is I don't know. There's just something about it that didn't hit. Like, it's fun, and I wouldn't not play it, but if I had the choice, it's Silver and Gold all the way. Because sometimes when, like, the cards you have, you're given cards. You get to select them to be your thing that you're doing, and you want to separate low numbers and high numbers because you're dropping off any number from 1 to 9 twice, right? There's 2 of each 1 to 9 in the deck, and they're shuffled, and half of them are gone. So depending on what you're given and what you select, those numbers might not be prevalent in that round, and you're just like, you flip a card and you're like, can't use it, and you flip another card, can't use it, flip another card, can't use it. Like it got too much of that sometimes, where this one, if you can choose not to use the polyomino, or if you can't, you at least get 1 box on your treasure map. So if you set yourself up with the pieces and you can at least put in 1 to get an X to give yourself something else on another card, or get yourself a coin to help you towards one of those trophies. There was just a little bit more in this one that's, like Brandon said, maybe forgiving, but more inviting as a game, where Super Mega was like, cool, like I cross off a number and I get that bonus from the thing and I can use that bonus, and it's very combo heavy. But then you get into that rut of, I guess I can't do anything for the next 4 cards until the round ends and I get something new. Like it became stale at a point.
I have a honorable mention that basically the only reason why I didn't make it on here is because it did so well this year. But it coincides with yours because it's almost a roll and write, which is
nice.
Guild of Merchant Explorers. It's basically a roll and write, except you don't write. Right? So instead of writing on it,
roll, it's flip.
Flip, yes, same thing. Yeah, flip and write. So yeah, instead of writing, you put cubes down, and the reason why is because there's 3 rounds, and at the end of the 3rd round, you remove your cubes, except for the little villages that you got to place at the end of those, and then from those villages, you could branch out next round. So it's kind of like they just made a really cool. I believe this started off as a draw in there, and then you'll have to erase it. And some developer said, no. Don't make everybody erase that many times. That'd be annoying. Let's put cubes.
Sure.
So, but yeah, this was up for the spiel. So I didn't feel like it needed our bump.
I do like that one. You feel very clever when you're doing the things to get the villages. So when you wipe it, at least you have multiple starting points, and then that builds over the rounds. The game you play, like you have more starting points, and then going for the shipwrecks and stuff. But every time I've played this, I just want to play Trails of Tucana. Every time.
A souped up Trails of Tucana.
I just want to play Trails of Tucana.
I don't think I like Trails. You showed me Trails. I just don't think it's as fun as this one.
Yeah, this one's good.
I like building on the map. Like it feels like a real map versus Trails feels more like a bingo card.
It's almost the same thing, but instead of drawing a line from mountain to plains, you're putting a cube on a plains.
It's fair.
It's almost the same thing, but I feel like when you're putting the trail together and you're getting the relics to connect, like you can play 2 games of Trails to 1 game of this, and I'd rather play two games. The Petite Island, the Grande one is an extra round of it, but I feel better playing Trails than this one. This is a good one. I do like this one, but every time I play this, it makes me want to play Trails.
I'm always give me a 2-hour game over 4 30-minute games kind of person. If that's the thing, then
Sure.
But yeah, I like the different maps in it too. I have one more honorable mention. I'm surprised you didn't put in here. You and I found this one together.
I have 2 on my list that I haven't talked about, but none of them are that. What is it?
Well, if you got 2, say yours now, and then I'll do mine and you do yours again. So we can bounce back and forth.
Okay, fine. All right, so my 2 that I wanted to talk about, that one is just outside the 5 years. So
you can't do that.
I know, but it was just like around 5 years.
That's a dishonorable mention.
It depends on when it came out, because if it came out in December of 18, we technically haven't hit it, right? So it came out in 2018, but it's Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Okay.
I mean,
Is
that's
it Gateway?
yeah, 100%. You're reaching into the bag and you're pulling out stuff until you either decide to stop or you bust and you're forced to stop. And then you're either picking points or resources. And then you're upgrading your bag based on those things that are giving you more pulls or better distance on your thing. It doesn't have a lot to it. It really doesn't. But it feels so cool when if you can get the upgraded bits or you have someone that has a 3D printer and can 3D print those things for you that you can socket the cardboard in, reaching into that bag and pulling those things out and pressing your luck in that game. It's a really great game.
Yeah, it is. I just think that this is Gateway Plus, just because there's so many different ways that those things score.
I don't think it has much more. So what is Seven Wonders to you then? Is it a Gateway Plus or a Gateway?
It's Gateway.
So I don't think this has much more than wrapping your head around the science in Seven Wonders, same as Nunatak.
I guess. I mean, it's a subjective call, right? And I haven't played this one more than... Actually, I've only played this once, and I played it on TTS.
Oh, you need one
With
play
Corey and Donnie.
play it in person. But it has those books, and those books, like you have a certain amount of those ingredients for the game. So you can actually stack them with like the recommended, these are what we recommend you play with. And then they're flippable, and you could flip over certain ones or bring in a new one that you haven't played with yet. So there's a base level of that you can play with it's pretty simple. And then the idea of what you pull is how many like you go out. Like it's got a ramp up to it as you play. That's intuitive and easy. But then it's just like the hardest thing in that game is the rat tail. Like that's it. It really, I agree. One, yes, 100%. And then totally different.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that about any game, right? But yeah,
it's okay. You can be wrong. See, even Eric's with me, and he wants to argue with me at every chance.
I mean, most play doesn't mean Gateway, but that's fine.
Yeah, those are two separate points, I think.
Yeah, sure.
And it benefits me, so I'm going to pull it up. All right, so then you go, and then I have one more.
Yeah. So this one is one that we played together at the Gathering. I think I played it like 7 times there.
Oh,
it's far away.
Yeah.
So the reason why it's not on the list is because I think it's missing that I didn't know games could do this feel, but just barely, because there is a hidden magic to this game that is very should have used semicolon. There's a hidden magic to this game that doesn't present itself whenever you learn it, but it does when you start playing. And then the abracadabra moment is whenever you score. You're like, oh my God, that's how I'm supposed to play this and this, right? And so it's one of those games where you want to play again because now you know how to play. And so it didn't quite make Gateway for me because of that. But I mean, that's seriously all the game is right there. So you're putting 8 cards out from left to right. You build left to right. You're picking cards from the middle. And then if you build, they have numbers on those cards. If you build a card that has a higher number, you get to pull one of those smaller mini cards that you see at the top there that gives you extra bonus. Mm-hmm. And then you can't always build up that way. And the hard part is that you score from right to left. You have to flip all of your cards over, and then you score your right card. And your right card might say, like in this example right here, the right card says, who knows, because Mike is hiding it. It says that for every yellow and green card you have, it's 3 points, but you have to have 3 pineapples. Well, if those other cards are flipped over, you don't have any pineapples. You got to hope that you have some up here. So they only have 1 up pineapple. So no scoring for that one. Then you flip over the next one. There's a pineapple that you could have used beforehand. So it's really interesting the way you build it. These cards basically have like 4 purposes to them. Mm-hmm. And it's real easy to teach, but you don't pick up on all of that cool little gamery stuff right off the bat. So
Mhm.
it's deeper than you think it is.
Agreed. But also, I think so. This is one of those when you want to play. You want to play it. What are those? Why are there different colors on the spines? I want those. Different
Oh, I don't
versions,
Yeah, maybe it's different languages.
languages. Yeah, that's killer.
Huh?
What the hell? I want those.
I don't know. I love the artwork in this.
Oh
one.
yeah, what's on the bottom of the spine there? Are those the companies?
It was the same company.
No, go back. Look on the bottom.
Oh no, that it just says Ketchup Games, but it has mushrooms here, as trees
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want that. Yeah, it's one of those like you're playing it in 10 minutes, 15 maybe, and then you want to play it again because you're like, oh, I got it, I can do better next time. But like the gimmick of it being scoring from first you flip them all over and then you score right to left. You don't have to. You can just score left to right, and it does the same exact thing left to right as it does right to left. We played it
Yeah.
that we played it both ways.
Yeah.
And both we showed ourselves that it really didn't matter.
Right. There was a weird thing that we were doing, scoring incorrectly, but it still came out with the same score.
Correct.
I don't know if that always works.
It just happened to be your game and my game at the same time.
I don't know. I don't know. But it was a weird math thing. Like it's just this strange thing to where we were doing it wrong because Andrew taught me how to do it wrong, and then later on he found out he was taught wrong.
right.
Andrew will call you out. But yeah, once we figure out how to actually play and stuff, it was funny. But yeah, it was weird because we were still getting the same score. I don't remember how that works.
I don't either. It could have just been a fluke, but it happened to be in both the bars at the same time.
Yeah.
I love multi-use cards, and the fact that the cards are being used 4 different ways. You have the upper left, which you want to try and do in number order because there is a benefit. You have the upper right, which is your like qualifier for other stuff. Then you have this middle right, which is like what you need in order to score the card, and then on the bottom is what you need to score the card. Like,
and it's also is it a nighttime card?
Right,
Is it a daytime card?
daytime.
Is it yellow, blue, red? Is it all this different stuff comes together, and you kind of have to like you don't see all the cards from the very beginning, so you kind of hope that this works out, and if it doesn't, I have to pivot.
Well, it's got that very Fantasy Realms feel to it, or the better version Marvel Remix that's more streamlined. But you're not going to see all the cards in your game, and you have to deal with what you have, right? So, like, depending on what's out there and what's technically in the discard market, you're playing with what's there, and then cool, do it again, like. Because you're not going to see all the things, and this has that same kind of, especially with the little cards, because that's a whole deck of cards that are shuffled out, and you might get a couple in the beginning of the game and then a couple at the end, and you're like, all right, well these like none of the end ones are going to help me with what I got, and none of the beginning ones help me because I have no idea what I'm getting. Like it's got a lot to it. It's a good pick.
I remember how we were scoring and why it worked. We weren't scoring left to right with all of them flipped. We were basically scoring backwards. We had them all showing,
right?
And we scored our right one. Then we flipped it down, and then scored the next one to the right, and flipped that one down.
We scored our far left.
No, I'm saying the way we did it before that was wrong, but it still scored correctly. All we did was we went from bottom to top on the score pad. It was a really weird way to do it, but it still works out.
It worked.
Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, that's my honorable mention. It's a great game to get people into. I don't know if it'd be the hook that gets people into other games, though. That's why it wasn't on the top 5.
Yeah. It might. I mean, the art's cool. The way that there's a lot on the cards that you got to know and remember and look like plan ahead. And I don't know. There's stuff to it. It's a good one. It's definitely a good one. All All right. So the other one, so the first one I talked about being Quacks was 2018. So it was outside that 5-year window. Cool. The next one, now,
Next cheater one.
well, I didn't talk about it because it wasn't within the 5 years. However,
Just take it to right now.
Tickets are right. So this one first came out in 2012.
You're a little off the mark for.
Way outside the 5-year window. However, it hadn't been in print. It's been a while since it's been in print. And 25th Century got the rights to it and reprinted it, and it came out this year. So you couldn't get it for a while, and now you can get it again. And it's Sausage Sizzle.
Oh God.
You can spell
Okay.
sausage. We played it on the show.
We didn't play this.
We played it. Where you roll the dice and you keep the animals, and you got to score the sausage with the
I
pips.
didn't play this with you.
You didn't play this? Oh, we should play
I've
this.
never seen this game.
All right, so there's 8 dice, and there's 6 animals, and you get a token set of the animals. You have one of each animal. You can only score them once in the game, so it's 6 rounds.
Look at this. Rob
I
knows
know I-
our
I know
show
I
better
played
than you
this.
do.
I thought I played it with Chris as well because we played the dice minor game, and I thought we played this one. Or maybe I had it ready to play, and we decided to call the show early. Whatever. So you have 6 animals. You can only score them once in the game. Once you decide to score the snake, you score the snake, you flip the snake over. Done. You can't score snakes again. On your turn, you roll Yahtzee style. You roll the 8 dice, and you must keep at least one. At least one has to be kept, and then you can re-roll whatever you want, right? But what you keep cannot be re-rolled, so you're not allowed to bring that back in, right?
Sure.
The 4 white dice have the 6 animals on one on each face, right? So that's how you're going to score your animals. So the more of the animals you can get on those, the more points you're going to score, right?
Mhm.
The pip dice, there's 2 different types of pip dice. There's the red ones, which are there on the lower left, and there are those brown ones, which are there in the middle right. The brown ones, I believe, have 2 sides that are sausage, and then your 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the red ones have 1 side that's a sausage, and 2 sides that are the 5s. Okay? When you're done rolling, you will score the number of animals you've kept, matching animals, whatever animal you decide to pick, on your white dice, and you multiply it by the lowest pip value you got on the 4 pip dice, right? The sausage counts as a 1 pip. Unless you can get all 4 sausages, then it's times 7.
Okay.
So it's like a shoot the moon type of thing. And you come out of the gate, and this has happened to me multiple times. You come out of the gate, rolling the dice, and you get 3 sausages. And you have that one that isn't. Cool. I'm going to keep the 3 sausages, and I'm going to try and get that other sausage, and it doesn't come up. So I've tried to do it, but my lowest pip value is now a 1, and I scored 3 echidna times my 1. I get 3 points. Had that sausage come up, it would have been 21 points. So there's a really fun push your luck. Like, do I go for the sausage, or can I just keep the 4s? Because 4 times 3 could win the game for you. Because 3 times 1 sucks. So it's really quick. Like when you're done, you pass the dice and you score your animals, and 6 rounds, you're over. But it came out in 2012. It's just now readily available again. And for the cost of this game, it is super fun. We played the shit out of it at Origins. It's a lot. It's worth it. It's in a compact box. Really cool. Yeah, and then the sausage chant starts. Yep.
Huh, that sounds fun.
It's a good one.
All right. Yeah, I'd play that.
It's a good one. We'll play it on the show. I don't have it obviously with me, but we'll play it.
Nice.
Yeah. So a sausage, for those wondering, a sausage sizzle is what a barbecue is in Australia. You know it doesn't mute me, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And Ian, so Eric was there when we were talking to Chad about it. Ian's the reason Chad went out and signed the game. Because it's like Ian loved the game and it had been out of print, and Chad's like, "Do I really want this?" And Ian's like, "Yeah, you want to get this game."
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's a Inca and Marcus Brand game actually too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's worth it. It's one of those that's easy to bring to a game night. Talk about it. I like bring it out and play it to begin or at the end of the night. Just something that you just after you've had a couple drinks and you're chanting sausage to everybody at 1:00 in the morning. Like whatever.
You're that table that the other tables hate because you're screaming sausage while they're trying to play like Power Grid and do math at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah.
Not as bad as Happy Salmon though. Holy shit.
Oh, don't get me started on that one.
I did see someone early. I'm not sure if it was Eric, and I'm not going to scroll all the way back, but someone did mention charcuterie.
Yes.
And I saw what's his name? Marco. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and he does a lot of videos. He posted a charcuterie video today or yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Talking about how him and his family played it. It picked it up at Gen Con and how they all loved it. And I think it does. I mean, this is a little bit more biased, obviously, because of 3WS, but it does deserve a little bit of talk for gateway game because of its just ease to play. Like you're playing this with people that aren't gamers. You're playing it with people that are gamers. It's got enough puzzle in there if you are a gamer, but it's easy to pick up if you're not. There is a little bit of a lift to the scoring for those that aren't necessarily into gaming, knowing like your vocabulary is adjacent and groups. Like there's really not much of it, but understanding how things score in that one takes a little bit extra to teach. But it does have a lot of those elements of what makes a gateway game. So, nice.
That's true. That's true.
I'm glad people were playing it. I'm glad people are playing it.
Here, I can actually show it so people know what we're talking about. Yeah, I agree. We often keep our own games and stuff like that off of there and stuff. So, I mean, I know it's not.
There's Shannon.
Yeah, it's fun.
And Kenny's awful tablecloth that he decided to take those pictures on.
And it makes me hungry every time I play this game too.
Yeah, the art is just killer. Like Yola did such an amazing job with that art.
Yeah.
All hand drawn watercolor.
They have the board upside down.
Yeah. Well, to show off the name.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. One of the videos I posted to the Discord today, or internally, we'll post it out later. But their biggest complaint, like their biggest gripe with the game, is that the scoreboard has those crumbs on it.
Oh.
And every time they play, they just want to wipe the crumbs off, and they're like,
I know.
I wish it wasn't there. And I'm like, all right, well, that's the biggest problem you had with the game. Like,
I had someone else say that at my game group. They were like, I want to get these crumbs off.
Yep.
Why would you put the crumbs on there? Yep. Yeah. Because they're trying to make the nicest plate, and you got little crumbs on there. You want to sweep them off.
Well, it's the end of the night, too, right? Like, everyone's already they've made the charcuterie. Now you're scoring the charcuterie, which is like you're eating it now. And then there's the crumbs from the the crumbly cheese.
Makes sense. It's funny.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Well, there's a ton of games to look at.
It was a great list.
There you go. You got to vote for the crumbs.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a nice little addition.
Hey, you know what? Technically, I could have put my game on here because 2019 was when the expansions came out.
Oh, that is a technicality.
That's such a technicality. And of course, I wouldn't.
Really is. But it is great.
I wouldn't put the expansions as a gateway anyway. So
no, expansions definitely are not. I mean, they don't add too much, but they add enough to be like, wait, what? If it's your first time playing,
right? But
yeah, I would talk about Troubles being a gateway game. I mean, I've talked about this before, but it's the one that killed Waterdeep for me. Like, I think Waterdeep is it's a really easy game to learn, but it's super fucking mean. Like, you have a task and you need the resources to complete the task, and you get the resources by putting a thing out and getting the resource. Cool. You completed the task. Like that. It's simple. And Troubles just added not only theme, because it's super fun, like all the hidden stuff, sci-fi stuff that is or isn't in there. but it's just the bumping mechanism just blew it out of the water for me. Like the idea that you can kind of plan ahead and be like, all right, well, I know Chris is going to go over there and get the space carrots, so I'm going to put my ship over there. So when Chris goes to the space carrots, I just get my ship back and I get to do the thing. It's super clever. And then the fun part about it is you never go and get the space carrots because I forget that you upgraded your ship to be able to get the space carrots at the coal. And now my ship is just there. Now I got to waste my turn anyway. Like,
Yes.
oh, super.
I hope Eric gets to try it with like 6 or 7 players sometimes because it runs so fast.
Yeah.
I always like seeing people do that. But yeah, anyway, it's a fun little what do you call it? Genre of games is gateway games because I am constantly excited every time I find one that I still like because my favorite, I guess, is that what you call them? Weight games is probably whatever the scale is. I don't know if it's gateways are 1 and Lacerda games are 10. I'm probably like in 7, 8 range. Yeah. But sometimes gateway games like Cascadia and basically everything we had on our list and stuff, those just like hit hard and stay. And I'd still appreciate gateway games if they're done well,
Which goes against you as a player because you, like you said earlier, you like to play the 2 hour rather than the 4 half hours. But Cascadia is not a long game, and a lot of the ones we talked about don't stay past 45 maybe.
Right. I mean, some like Tiny Towns could be a 40-minute game, 30-minute game.
It could. Yeah, it could.
Starship Captain's probably one of the longer ones. Horrified could be 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, for me, it's not, I'm never like, I'll always take a 2-hour game over a 30-minute game because some 2-hour games aren't that great.
Right.
It's just, to me, I want to like have that depth of feel, like for going 2 hours. If I'm having fun the entire 2 hours, why does it matter if it's one game versus 3 games, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like watching the full 42 for 2 hours rather than watching 4 other things at a half hour each.
Yeah. See, we got people hanging out with us still for the whole 2 hours, and you could have been playing a 2-hour game. So,
yeah,
jokes on you.
Watching us bicker and putting thumbs in front of my face is way better than any board game you could be playing, I'm sure.
Oh, here, I'll do that. Step in.
So nice. Man. Much better with the blue on.
We'll leave it that way. Yeah. We put it in the middle. Oh, that's not the middle. We can put it in the middle. There you go.
Either way.
Still covering your name. Like, subscribe, hit all the bells and whistles and people. Whatever you have to hit.
Do the thing. Whatever the thing.
Do the thing. Way more entertaining. Nice. Better than board game.
Thank you. That's true. It is different every time. This is true.
And yet the same every time.
It's always great hanging out with you guys as well. I love the crew that chirps and gets songs stuck in my head. And
yeah.
Great.
All right. Well, with all that, we'll let you all go back to your mundane, boring lives. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Hope everyone had a great weekend.
Great
weather.
Good Labor Day. And see everybody next week.
Yeah, I'll talk to Daryl about the Essen thing, but like I said, I think it just might be too much of a monster right now with being closer to it.
Yeah.
Having so many on the list, it might be a little too much. But if anything, we'll do, what was it, 96?
1996, yeah. Best movies in 1996. Okay. There's some good ones.
There are some
right there. Cool.
Oh, nice. Star Wars Outlaws. Cool.
Yeah, I know. I almost bought it today, and I was like, I'm going to wait for like a couple of weeks until they do that patch that fixes whatever glitches are on there right now.
Inevitably, there's something wrong with it that they will.
I'll wait for that big patch.
Yeah.
And then I'll play it. So
that makes sense.
All right. Good night, everybody. A whole new world.